Hello, my name's Hans, and today at Rimmer Brothers we're going to be changing the front discs and pads on this Rover 75. Before jacking the car up, we've found the wheel locking nut key, removed the locking wheel nut and removed the plastic nut caps. We can now loosen the wheel nuts before jacking the vehicle up and taking the wheel off. We need to remove this clip here, and I'm using a pair of pipe grips, or mole grips would do. Just gently twist it and pull it outwards, and we'll get one end out, and we'll do the same on the top end. Around the back of the caliper, the two plastic cups. These two little caps need to be removed, and then using a 7mm hex drive or Allen key, we can fit that in and then crack off the two and remove the locating pegs. You can see how far I've removed the two round dowels here, and I'm going to use a pry bar just to push the pistons in very slightly so I can then have room to remove the caliper. One pad will stay in the piston and one pad will stay here. We remove the pad on the piston side, and we can see the clips that hold it into the piston. Keep it supported, do not let it strain by the hose, and then we can remove the other side. And now we need to tie a piece of string and support it up here so that this hose doesn't get strained. The pad carrier is held on by these two bolts, which are 15mm, and I'm using a 6-section socket, 15mm, and remove these two bolts and remove the carrier. To remove the disc, we have a T50 Torx bolt, and it's quite a big one, so and this one's obviously been done not long ago, and it's coming out quite easily. We've removed the screw. Normally these take a bit of tapping to come off, but this one's come off quite easily. Looking at this, it looks like somebody's used copper grease on the two mating surfaces, and it should be metal to metal. This is not good what the person's done, but it's helped me get the thing off easily. We're using one of these stripping discs to clean up the face. These are really good because they don't take away any of the metal, but they take away all the rust and rubbish that's accumulated. Before fitting the discs, we need to degrease them. I'm using brake cleaner, and we're just going to wet this bit of towel, clean all the protective grease. Also, the hub needs degreasing as well. Do both sides, and then we'll refit the disc. Right, we've got the disc all degreased. We can offer it up onto the hub. I'll just rotate it a few times, line up the hole for the locating screw. As you can see, I've put a little bit of copper grease on there for when it needs to come off in another 5-6 years time. And we'll insert that. Before fitting the carrier, we need to clean all the rust that's built up where the pads sit. I'm using a little pry bar that's been nicely sharpened. I'll be using a wire brush and a few other tools just to clean these surfaces so that the new pads will sit in without fouling. We've cleaned these surfaces here. I've used a rough file, a wire brush. As you can see, they're all nice and shiny. And before we fit it, I'm just going to carefully put some copper grease onto all these surfaces. It's much easier to do this when the carrier's off than when you've actually fitted it over the disc. I'll carefully put copper slip on all the surfaces that the pads sit. Now I'm going to carefully put it in position, holding it with one hand, and then fit the two bolts. We fitted the two bolts. We're going to tighten them up to 100 Newton meters. Before we put the brake caliper piston, we need to first of all protect any rust or bits falling onto our new disc, and make sure that there's enough room in the reservoir for the fluid that's displaced when you push the piston back. So I've removed the cap off the top and made sure there's plenty of room for the fluid to fill it up. We can either use a G-clamp and push the piston like that, or I have another tool that fits in and does the same thing. Fit this back in, and we can just wind the piston slowly and gently back into the caliper so that we've got new room for the new pads to fit over the disc. Push these two little pins all the way back until the thumb's flush, and then we fit the new pad into the piston. We can then fit the other pad into the carrier and before fitting we need to remove this self-adhesive film. We can now tighten up the two guide pins. These need to be tightened up to 28 pounds per foot, and we can replace the two plastic covers. If there's a wear pad sensor, this is the time to now insert it into that groove and connect it up to the connector if it's got one fitted. Fitting the spring, I usually start with the hole at the top, push that in there, get the spring over the ear on there, and then using some pipe grips gently pull it up and job done. Before refitting the wheel, it's always good to put some copper grease on this hub here, and not forgetting this screw here should be tightened up to 33 Newton meters. We've refitted the wheel, put in the wheel nuts, and now we've lowered it to the ground and we're just going to torque up the wheel nuts. These need to be 125 Newton meters. Make sure that when you're tightening nuts you go diagonally, so I start there. That's number 2, that's number 3, this is number 4, and so on. Finally, we need to pump the brake pedal to make sure that we've got a firm pedal, check the fluid level, and then replace the cap. It's the same for the other side.